Hey guys, my name is Ariel. I am your tarot translator. And one thing that you're always going to know about me is that I will be 100% authentically myself here. This is my safe space to be whatever kind of weirdo I want to be. Okay, so what had just happened was I was jumping into my very first reading for you. I was really excited about it, and I got the intuition to share, just in case some of you might not be totally familiar with the tarot, what the 3 top scariest cards in the tarot are, just in case they happen to pop out in that first reading. And I sort of went off on a tangent, but it was a really good tangent. So I highly recommend that you go ahead and watch this video if you're not super familiar with the tarot, or if you just like to see me rant and then try to backpedal into why I didn't start the reading. That's essentially what you're going to see. But the top 3 scary cards in the tarot being the Tower, the Devil, and the Death card, I explain what those are. I explain why they're not that scary and why they don't mean what a lot of people think that they mean. And I explain how I'm not a witch and how I don't talk to dead people and how the tarot isn't some like devil worshiping thing. Okay, so if you'd like to watch that video, this is it. I'm going to go ahead and let it get started now. Hey guys, welcome to my very first reading for you. My name is Ariel and I am your tarot translator. So I'm just going to start off by saging my space here to clear. I've already shuffled all of my cards and set the intention for this to be a timeless reading. That essentially means that whenever this reading finds you, it is meant to find you. So even if you are not catching the reading on the very day that it's launched, that does not mean that there aren't messages here that are essentially going to resonate with you. It is not a personalized reading, so it's not going to resonate with everyone. Please take what feels like it's meant for you and leave the rest for somebody else. I really want to build a sense of community here, so I'd really love it if you would try to tap into the energy, because it really helps me connect with you. And the way that you can do that is by liking or subscribing or commenting, because the more that you do that, the more that I'm able to actually sort of integrate your energy with mine as I'm doing readings. So I've found that for me, I'm very supportive of other tarot channels, and the ones that I tend to resonate the most with are the ones that I've actually interacted with the most, because I am sharing a form of my energy with those readers, and so they're able to tap into mine. So that's just a point of advice across any readings that you're doing. I also want to remind you that as the messages come out, that you are going to use your own discernment, use your own intuition. I use oracle cards and I use traditional tarot. So with the oracle cards, you will find that sometimes the imagery speaks to you in ways that I'm not channeling, and that's perfectly fine. Actually, I encourage that, because that means that you're tapping into your own intuition along with me tapping into mine. So 3 things that I'm going to tell you just on this first video is something that I share with all the clients that I do live readings for. If you're not familiar with the tarot and you've never experienced a tarot reading before, and I happen to be the first one that you've come across on YouTube, then I want you to know 3 really important things. 1, this is not some form of witchcraft. I don't personally channel through like my dead relatives or spirit guides. That's just not my form of reading. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's just not what I do. I'm not comfortable with doing that. And I've got reasons for why I don't do that, but I channel through my higher intuitive self. I am a clairvoyant and claircognizant. So sometimes messages come to me like visually or audio wise, like as I'm reading the cards. But there's 3 cards that anybody who's never really been introduced to the tarot properly might be sort of freaked out by, right? So really quick, let's get those out of the way. 1 is the Devil card. People, see that card and they're like, oh, it's the worst card. It's so scary. But honestly, Devil is associated with a particular astrological energy. Each of the cards that are major arcana are. Devil happens to be associated with Capricorn energy, which doesn't mean that Capricorns are devils at all. I love Capricorns, actually. It's one of my favorite zodiac signs. One of the smartest zodiac signs too. But the Devil can talk about things like addiction. They can talk about being a little obsessive. It can talk about things that are holding you back. It can talk about self-sabotage. It can talk about things that you're doing in your own life, or that somebody else's energy is doing that is conflicting with something that's for your higher good. Then there's the Tower card, which sort of in the traditional tarot has a depiction of like a tower blowing up and people jumping out of it. This does not mean that your house is going to catch on on fire. It does not mean that your whole world is going to fall apart. It doesn't mean you're going to get divorced. It doesn't mean that somebody's going to like, jump out of a building. It just essentially means that there's something you're holding on to in your life, or there's a cycle, there's a pattern going on that the universe is trying to encourage you to say, hey, look, you're holding on to this job, this relationship, this toxic situation, whatever situationship, that whatever it is that you're holding on to, it's telling you that, look, in the coming future, if you don't let go of this thing that is clearly not good for you, I'm going to start stepping in and shaking up the foundation because the foundation is not built on something solid. And I'm going to shake things up so that it essentially forces you to really look at it and decide if it's something that you want to cut ties with. Because sometimes the universe will cut ties of that bad situation for you because it's out for your greater and highest good. And so it sometimes encourages us, like mothers do to their children, to not touch the fire, right? And then the third card is the death card. It does not mean somebody's going to die. It doesn't mean that the death is on your door. It doesn't mean that you're going to get sick. It doesn't necessarily mean any of those things. And often I've actually never done a reading where it's channeled for me anything of the sort. The death card is really like the rebirth card. So it's essentially a card that talks about like cycles closing, things that are going to transform, things that are going to metamorphosize, rising from the ashes. It can talk about new beginnings, and it can talk about like out with the old and in with the new. So that is my brief explanation of the 3 top scary-ish cards in the tarot. And I hope that that helps you to feel more calm and less spooked out if they pop up in a reading for you here in the future. That being said, I think I should rename this video the top 3 scariest cards in the tarot, and then the next video, just go ahead and leave this as a separate warning video and just jump in, because at this point, I think I've already probably lost a couple of people because I haven't jumped into the reading. So hit the next video to get your first reading from me.